Go ahead.
Hello and welcome to All Rounders Den. We are here to review the big match today in the Champions Trophy, the big rivalry Pakistan versus India. And I'm joined by Karthik from India, who is probably known to most of you on Twitter. Karthik, congratulations on the win. How are you doing?
Thank you, first of all. Ra. I'm doing well. Yeah, I think India are playing very well. Unfortunately, hard luck for you guys. Tough campaign. I mean, at home there have been a lot of hopes, but yeah, it's how it is. Unfortunately, in a tournament like CT.
Yeah, it was always on the cards whenever you lose the first game, then every single game becomes do or die. In fact, even the first one was do or die. And Ahmed Bhai has also joined us as a Pakistani fan. Um, how I can expect that you're not feeling really great, but any thoughts on the match today?
Yeah, most gutless performance that is my like. ठीक है हमें मैच से पहले भी पता था we will go out, but I am not accepting the way we got out. ठीक है स्किल से आप आउट मैच हो सकते हो. We have been outfought previously as well, but fielding में जो आपको lapses नजर आए we will of course touch on better. काफ़ी चीज़ों को आप कंबाइन भी पेयर अप कर सकते हैं न्यूजीलैंड वाले मैच के साथ, तो वही जो फाइट नहीं नज़र आ रही, जो कोहेजन नहीं नज़र आ रही, रीजन भी उसके पीछे. सो दैट इज़ माय बिगेस्ट फ्रस्ट्रेशन. And I'm much pleasure to have Karthik back on your second appearance.
Yeah, it was a very tame performance from Pakistan, even though I think 90% of Pakistan fans were expecting a loss after the match against New Zealand and the selection decisions that have been made, and also the change in conditions as well. So that is where I'll put my first question to Karthik. What do you think on a tactical level is the deciding factor between India and Pakistan in or was the deciding factor in today's match? Like if you just purely look at the selection and tactics.
I think, as you guys pointed out, like I think uh, it was on odds against for Pakistan. They were up against it because of various injuries and also the selection calls that have been made. So it was going to be always difficult for Pakistan against a well-oiled unit like India. And I mean, for me, I think the key area was the middle overs. I think when South Shakil and Rizwan started, I thought they could have been more proactive. They recovered a little bit, but again, there was a collapse and the innings went nowhere from there. I mean, once you get all out for 240 against a team like India, I think it is always going to be very tough to defend such a target. It's not going to really happen. Like maybe there is a 1% chance out of 10 times. That's how I see it.
I mean, it's been something that Pakistan fans have been frustrated with a lot. Like the 1990s approach to batting, it's basically been there my whole career as a fan, if you can say. As long as I remember, we've always been defensive with the bat. And when it comes to the bowling tactics, of course, the Pakistan bowlers did not have a good target to defend. But again, where do you think like the big deciding factor was there?
I personally thought I think the bowlers did what they had to do. I think Shaheen went searching for wickets. I mean, while defending a target of around 240, you don't have any other option. I think in that process, he did give away a few loose deliveries. Like when you go searching for full deliveries, like in swinging deliveries, sometimes the ball won't swing, and I mean automatically those deliveries turn into like half volleys for players of that level. So I mean, I don't think I can fault the bowlers at all. I thought they did most things right. I mean, there were a few half chances also, like more than half chances, a few drop catches. Could still dropped a chance at short mid wicket of Harris Rav. Then maybe I think Naseem could have reacted a bit better of the previous delivery, if I remember correctly. at third when Harris got frustrated too. So there were some chances, I think, which Pakistan could have taken. But again, I don't think even if they took those chances, I think it would have been very difficult for Pakistan to really catch up and defend that 240 target.
Yeah, I mean the fielding is another like consistent source of frustration for Pakistan since a long time. And one thing I would like to point out is the decision at the toss to bat first. It just not does not make any sense to me. Like whatever way you spin it, it just seems honestly, like, to be frank, a brain dead decision. Like I don't see how you can like look at the record of previous matches and the way even the previous game against Bangladesh that India played, and even though I don't think there was much due, but still it is pretty like consistent that teams have it easier chasing in the way um, than than batting first. And Ahmed by of course, I don't need to pose you the question that like if there was a deciding factor, of course it was. Maybe you can just take a few seconds to like rant against this decision because I'm sure every single Pakistan fan would love to do that.
यार ऑनेस्टली तला क्योंकि आजकल जैसी मैनेजमेंट चल रही है ना तो उसके लिए हर स्टुपिडिटी एक तरह से सेंस बनाने लग जाते हैं इफ माय पॉइंट मेक सेंस एज वेल वियर्डली इनफ ये लोग एक तरह से फॉल्स इल्यूजन में रह रहे हैं इन्होंने देखा कि बांग्लादेश की गेम जो हुई इन पर्टिकुलर मैं सिर्फ बांग्लादेश की गेम पे इन पर्टिकुलर फोकस करना होगा उन्होंने देखा कि बांग्लादेश मेड इट हार्ड जस्ट मैं हार्ड का वर्ड यूज कर रहा हूँ बांग्लादेश डिड मेड इट हार्ड बट उनके पास एक क्वालिटी रिस्क स्पिनर था रिशाद ही रियली ट्रबल्ड उस ट्रैक ने थोड़ा सा स्लो बिहेव किया सेकंड इनिंग्स में on solely that basis they went on to that approach कि इंडिया को अप फ्रंट बैटिंग नहीं देनी they might bat us out right away up front शर्मा का लग गया अभी शुरू में भी उन्होंने बस्ट खिलाया था so they were quite afraid कि बॉलिंग को हमने एक्सपोज नहीं करना in a way up front batsmen जितने रन लगा दिए we will see it out and take things from there so these were two like kind of rationale behind it अगर मैं devil advocate बनना नहीं चाहिए I am just doing it but I am again baffled by it but not surprised यार एक चीज मैं मेंशन करना चाहूंगा कार्तिक की तरफ पे मैं क्वेश्चन थ्रो कर देता हूँ डायरेक्टली एक बैटिंग में फ्रस्ट्रेशन चलो न्यूजीलैंड के साथ फ्रस्ट्रेशन के अलग रीजन समझ आती थी बट यू कैन आर्ग्यू अगेन आज के कंटेक्स्ट को रहते हुए इंडिया का बॉलिंग अटैक वाजंट दैट अप टू द मार्क्स शुरू के 20 ओवर भी डाला ठीक है आप उन्हें कह लो कि कुछ एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी नहीं कर रहे थे जो कि इस पिच पे करना बनता भी नहीं है बट शामी निगल्स कैरी कर रहे थे कुलदीप लेट इनटू द पहला और उनका पहला सफल इतना खास नहीं था हर्षित राणा स्टिल फाइंडिंग हिज प्लेस इन द स्क्वाड यू कैन से उसके खिलाफ भी आप अगर इतना टिमिड रहोगे ये मेरी अगेन बहुत फ्रस्ट्रेशन है कि न्यूजीलैंड के खिलाफ चलो क्वालिटी बॉलिंग हो गई समझ आ गई विलोर के लिए आके आपको रैटल कर दिया तो इसी से मैं क्वेश्चन थ्रो कर रहा था कार्तिक की तरफ डू यू थिंक इंडिया वर लाइक बिट शेकी डू यू फेल्ट इट कि if Pakistan had imposed their authority more we could have been in the game much more than we ended up to be
Like I touched upon at the beginning of the discussion, too, I think they could have taken it on because there wasn't actually much help for the spinners also. Like it was a normal wicket, I think. So
yeah
you could have shown a lot more urgency. When Babar was batting, it was looking all rosy for Pakistan because he was middling the ball. And similarly, I think when Rizwan and Saud Shakil wanted to really accelerate, they managed to. There were a few boundaries in succession, so it wasn't out of the picture for Pakistan. I mean, they could have taken a gamble because again, if you want to beat a team like India, you'll have to score that 20, 30 extra. So it has to come from a batting unit. And once you do that, I think your bowling attack gets a lot more confidence, a lot more runs to work with. Maybe the lengths that Shaheen bowled tonight, I think it could have got even more benefits if the target was a bit higher. So I think that is a major factor, obviously. I think, and again, I think once you put 300 kind of target at Dubai under lights with the ball swinging, you can never rule out Pakistan. So that was definitely a big major drawback for them today.
Uh,
I mean, when it comes to putting 300 on the board, so of course Babar started well. He was looking good as always, but got out to had a loose dismissal again. It's become a pattern with him as well. But when it comes to Imam, I don't want to even expend too many words there. Like, it was a disaster.
Leave it. Leave it.
Anyone could see coming. Anyone could see it coming. But the partnership between Saud and Rizwan, I would like to touch upon, is that um, obviously they decided that they're gonna bat until 40 overs and then let Agha and Khusdil and Tayyib Tahir do the hitting. It didn't work out, and it was the same as Babar and Rizwan did in that World Cup match in Ahmedabad. So when it comes to that partnership, like where exactly do you think, like, it was, there's one point where it a partnership, like a slow partnership, it becomes too hard to recover from. So obviously they lost 2 early wickets and they want to be cautious, like that's understandable, but at what point do you think they should have started, like, upping the tempo?
So yeah, so I personally thought, I think maybe it was, if I remember correctly, as I said, it was 25th over and they actually showed some intent. So possibly, I think
Uh,
5 hours earlier, I think that would have been perfect for Pakistan. Uh, it would have just, I think, given some more momentum, and I think uh, it. I think the slow start also played a massive role in Rizwan's shot. I mean, he's been far too guilty of playing. I mean, I don't know how to explain that shot. I mean, you can play a lot more traditional shots and get runs. It doesn't, like, the wicket was really tough to bat on, where you have to manufacture certain shots. So, and that's log. It didn't look good at all. So I think 5 overs. As you said, I think there were two quick wickets. So I don't really criticize them for um, batting a bit cautiously at the beginning, first few overs. But they should have known. I think it can't continue for too long. I mean, they probably took a leave out of Bangladesh book, but again, that pitch was completely different. I mean, it was much slower than this wicket. Uh, the Bangladesh batters and even the Indian batters later on in that match found it difficult to even rotate the strike. I don't think this wicket was that difficult. I mean, you could have at least shown urgency in terms of singles and doubles, if not your boundaries. So I think again, it also showed a lack of belief I felt on the two batters in the lower middle order. I think Aga Salman and Kushtil Shah, they showed a lot of intent and ability against New Zealand. So I think they should have had more confidence in them. That if even if you take a little more risk and get out, they can still stabilize the innings and then get on to the track and get the run rate on track basically. So those factors were there. I think that's where I think Pakistan went haywire.
Yeah, that's also been something that has been criticized and quite frankly has baffled a lot of people in Pakistan cricket. How Tayyib Tahir, who's a top four batter, in fact, he started out as an opener, has been put at number six, presumably because they wanted someone who can hit against spin. Even though he's not done much to, like, justify or even displayed much power hitting ability throughout his career. And there was, Kamran Ghulam was in the mix as well. He made like a 60 of 30 against South Africa, which showed at least that he can do the job. He knows how to do the job, even if not on a long-term basis. And he was discarded as well. And Khushdil came into the team. He made runs against New Zealand, but you can say that it was when the pressure was already off and the game was already gone. So again, it comes down to, I think, the selection process, which is kind of the root issue here. when you go back to the series that Pakistan won in Australia and South Africa. So my question to Ahmed bhai is कि अगर वो दोनों series देखें जो हमने जीती थी, and all the changes that have come, of course some were forced like Saim and Fakhar. What was like what was the ideal 11 to play here, accounting for the injuries and accounting for the conditions as well? Can you hear me?
सॉरी माय माइक इज म्यूट. हाँ
Okay.
हाँ, माय माइक इज म्यूट. हाँ यार, बिगेस्ट फ्रस्ट्रेशन फिर उधर ही आ जाती है. आइडिया आइडिया डजंट हैव टू बी इन आके-बाज वोकैबुलरी. एक चीज़ पे आते हुए फिर उसको मैं लिंक कर लेता हूँ आपके सवाल से. इवन लास्ट जो कुछ दिन की इनिंग्स आज वाली भी अगर आप ब्रेक डाउन करो, आई वाज काइंड ऑफ फ्रस्ट्रेटेड विद बोथ हिम. और एक तरह से मेरी थ्योरी बन गई थी मैच से. मैं भाई के साथ भी डिस्कस कर रहा था फ्रॉम द वर्ड गो. आज ये प्लान लग रहा था कि 240 250 टच करना है, चाहे इनिंग्स जितनी भी ट्रैक हो सके. कुछ दिन ने कब जाके एक्सेलरेट किया, प्रॉपरली एक्सेलरेट, जितनी लाइक जब आप बॉलर्स को शुरू से डोमिनेट लाइक थोड़ा सा फीट शफल करना शुरू कर देते हो, या जो हिट द लाइक मोर पावर या मोर एम के साथ आप शॉट मारते हो. एक ओवर मुझे नहीं बोलने लगा 46 ओवर था. लाइक उससे पिछले ओवर में चलो कुछ दिन ने लास्ट बॉल पे सिंगल, इट मेक सेंस कि आपने अगला ओवर लेना, तब नसीम उसके साथ कह रहा था. देन कुछ दिन ने पहली बॉल पे इट वाज अ हिटेबल डिलीवरी, आपने डबल भी नहीं लिया, आपने सिर्फ सिंगल लिया, इट कुड हैव बीन रन डबल. फिर नसीम बॉल मिस करता है, नसीम फिर बाउंड्री हिट करता है, उसके बाद नसीम उसे सिंगल लेके रहता है. देन आखिरी दो बॉलें कुछ दिन डॉट खेलता है. एक तो चलो बॉल बहुत अच्छी होगी, लास्ट बॉल पे ही कुड हैव लाइक हिट इट एटलीस्ट इनटू द गैप. 48th ओवर में जाके लाइक 49th ओवर में जाके शामी की लूज बॉल पे ही वाज कैरिंग फिटनेस. मुझे कुछ दिन की इनिंग्स ने भी फ्रस्ट्रेट किया बहुत. मुझे लग रहा था कि मैनेजमेंट के भी थोड़ा इशू है कि दे हैव फेड इनटू देम कि यार 50 ओवर किसी भी तरह पूरे करनी है, जितने में लाइक स्लो इनिंग्स हो जाए. और मुझे उसकी भी इंटेलिजेंस पे लाइक ग्राउंड में तो आपने खेला ना, मैनेजमेंट ने जो कह दिया सो कह दिया. एटलीस्ट लाइक आपने 38 बॉलें खेली, मैं ये नहीं कह रहा कि उसने रन नहीं बनाए या वो रन ना बना तो हमारे साथ पता नहीं क्या ही हो जाता है. हारे तो आप भी एम्बैरेसिंग तरीके से हैं यार. एटलीस्ट आपके पास एक तरह से प्रॉपर हिटर हो, आप लाइक इनिंग्स खुद एकोमोडेट करो. एंडिंग चाहे हिट वाली बॉल ज्यादा खेलो. आप टीममेट तरीके से हारना मुझे अब बहुत ज्यादा फ्रस्ट्रेट करता है. कमिंग बैक टू योर पॉइंट, आज हमारी लाइक कितनी जो बेस्ट विकेट कह लो कि वो अबरार की थी. लाइक शुभमन गिल जैसे लाइक नंबर 1 बैटर को आउट कर रहा. एक तो मुझे वो भी समझ नहीं आया कि रिजवान आज पता नहीं लेट क्यों लेके आया अबरार को, जबकि न्यूजीलैंड वाले वर्क मैच में इट वर्क. लाइक मैं तो एडवोकेट भी कह रहा था ही कुड हैव बीन ब्रॉट एंड लाइक ओपनिंग लाइक फ्रॉम द वर्ड गो इट कुड हैव. बट एनीवे, coming back to your original question, I do think मुझे like शुरू में होता है कि यार they are just doing it for the sake of it. They are just doing it for the sake of it. Original जो selection होते हैं, they are not in their long term plannings कि हम इनको परसिस्ट करेंगे. दे आर जस्ट फॉर द सेक ऑफ इट. जिम्बाब्वे में चलो सबको बाहर बिठा दे, सारे नए खिलाड़ी ले आओ, तब वो हाइप भी नहीं होते किसी प्लेयर के राउंड अबाउट. अभी भी फ़हीम को आप किस बेस पे लेके आओ, बीपीएल के बेस पे लेके आओ, खुशदीप को किस बेस पे लेके आओ, किसी बेस पे लेके आओ, लाइक अराउंड पर्टिकुलर थिंग. वो मोमेंटरी चीज़ होते हैं. देयर इज नॉट इनफ बैकिंग इन इट. और इस पे रिजवान को मैं बहुत ज़्यादा ब्लेम दूंगा. ठीक है, आई नो पावर सर्कल्स कहीं और ज़्यादा शिफ्टेड है, बट दैट इज वेयर माय बिगेस्ट फ्रस्ट्रेशन इज. तला एक चीज़ पे मेरा आपसे क्वेश्चन बनता है, काइंड ऑफ कनेक्ट कर लो. एक तरह से पैटर्न बन गया और एक तरह से आप इन्हें डिफाइन भी कर सकते हो रिजवान या बाबर की लाइक लेगेसी भी. रिजवान पे मैं ज़्यादा फोकस करना चाहूँगा. ट्राई सीरीज का फाइनल ले लो, न्यूजीलैंड वाली गेम ले लो, आज वाली गेम ले लो. बैटिंग में चाहे बैटिंग फर्स्ट कर रहे थे, चेस कर रहे थे, इट डजंट मैटर. आपके दो प्राइमरी बैटर्स कह रहा हूँ, बेस्ट बैटर नहीं कह रहा, रिजवान एंड बाबर, उन्होंने टाइमली के टिमिट 3 इनिंग्स खेली हैं. सो एक तरह से आप कह सकते हो कि हमने मांट्रा बना लिया आउट ऑफ नो वेयर. हालांकि साउथ अफ्रीका में हमने ज़्यादा अच्छे अप्रोच दिखाए उससे. कंडीशंस पे भी आप आर्ग्यू कर सकते हो. सो आई डोंट रियली गेट इट कि अचानक वो मेंटालिटी स्विच कहाँ से आया. लाइक अफ्रीका में वी वर प्लेइंग विद मच मोर पॉजिटिविटी. ठीक है, स्क्वाड मच मोर बैलेंस भी था, हंग्री भी था, व्हाटएवर. बट आई मीन ये मेंटालिटी स्विच कहाँ से आया, आई डोंट गेट इट.
I think it's not a hard thing to figure out. Ke Australia mein we won based on the bowling. Like the bowling just blew the
हाँ.
the opposition batting away, and we had small targets to chase. And in South Africa, we had Saim Ayub and making runs at the top, who was batting throughout the innings, was staying positive throughout the innings. So there was always one batter who was taking on the bowlers. So is sense mein you can say that of course you can't expect the bowlers to do the same in Asia in these conditions. This is in Pakistan, like 350 is a par score, or is a slightly above par score maybe in Karachi. And in Dubai, like the pacers are not going to be as effective. So again, you play one specialist spinner, and you can't expect the Pacers to do much. And Saim is gone, Fakhar is gone. So obviously, Babar and Rizwan went into their shell, and they thought, okay, we have to play a long innings, and try to hit towards the end, and not even trust the lower middle order, Pushtil, Aga, and Tayyib, because maybe even they can see that it's just a short-term fix that they've been thrown into the team, that we don't really have someone who we've persisted with as a hitter. So of course the selection decisions must have weighed upon them as well.
तला जो है
Can you guys hear me?
हाँ हाँ you are back
Yeah,
now, you are back.
I was saying like the selection decisions, they must have weighed upon them as well as the most senior batters in the side. But still, like it's a tried and like tested approach. It's a failed approach. This one, that you will just go into your shell and try to bat out until the 40th over. So I think these factors really played a role here. So we've pretty much said everything that needs to be said about the Pakistan side.
Exactly.
So
India पे जा
coming to India, like of course we've talked about how timid Pakistan's batting approach was, but my question to Karthik is, what would you like to like? What would you like? What did you like most about India's bowling today?
Yeah, and I think as Ahmed also mentioned earlier on, I don't think they did anything extraordinary at the ball, but they're just steady. They aren't bowling as many loose deliveries. And I think during the end overs, particularly, I think uh, the likes of Harshit Rana, Kuldeep Yadav came back well. So that was pretty impressive for the team management to watch, I guess. Fact that Harshit Rana has been preferred over Arshdeep Singh, mainly because of his middle overs and death over skills. I think that he showed that in plenty today. And Kuldeep was not at his best in the last game also. So I think even if two of them were lower order wickets, I think that will give him a lot of confidence. So India will again take these as positives. Again, I think without Bumrah, the bowling as good as it is, like there are still a lot of good performers like Shami, Jadeja, others. But I think again, India will still see their batting as their strength, obviously, because that can blow away the opposition. So I think given that even the bowling is not doing too bad, I think they'll be very confident with this display.
Yeah, that's what I got. Like my takeaway as well was that it was more to do, that they bowled well enough to not give any loose deliveries to, for example, Rizwan and Saud in their partnership, so that they went even more into a defensive shell. And coming to the batting, of course, Kohli made 100, but apart from that, like apart from the obvious things, do you think there were any like stages in the second innings where India could have stumbled, but their batting prowess kept them, afloat and got them home? Or was it just
Uh,
like something? Was just like,
I didn't really think I think India will struggle, but again, that Abrar spell was very impressive. I think I actually thought Abrar will get Kohli in the manner that he did get Shuman Gill, but it was Shuman Gill who eventually fell to that delivery because again Kohli was playing a lot on the back foot. So Just thought it opened up the possibility of LBW and Bolt, but Kohli did well enough to like just get through the period and bat through that period again. But yeah, I think starting from the beginning, I think Rohit, as usual, he looked to stamp his authority. Not a big score tonight, but he still gave a positive start. And then again, Shuman Gill looked $1 million. I mean, some of his shots were just outstanding. I think he played a straight drive, a cover drive, and then a short arm jab. Each one of them were just amazing. I think he's just proving like why he's probably the best ODI batter currently. And again, another thing is that in the last game, as we touched upon against Bangladesh, it is a much different track, and Shuman Gill showed a different ability there. Like he just held held the Indian innings together, batted at like a lesser gear. So that was and today's innings was a lot more fluent, I guess, because he knew that the pitch is a lot better to bat on, and we saw a lot of glorious shots. Again, like I don't think you can blame him for the dismissal. It was just an outstanding delivery from Abrar. So I think India have a lot of positives here. And the fact that Shuman Gill has had enough deliveries under his belt going into much more important fixtures in the tournament. And obviously, I think Virat Kohli registering his 51st ton. It just seemed like the entire stadium was looking up for that moment. Like in the partners, his partners were, I think, willing to just give him the strike. So it is almost like a festival for both Kohli and the Indian team at the end of the innings. And again, like Shreyas Iyer, by now is pretty underrated. I mean, he's putting on a lot of performances, but there are still a lot of question marks from a section of fans. But I think just with the, each innings is just silencing them, I guess. The, I think the best thing about someone like Shreyas Iyer is the fact that he almost averages close to 50 while also having a strike rate above 100, which is like just gold dust for any team. And if you look at the rest of the Indian batting lineup, also there are similar players like that. Even KL Rahul averages almost close to 50, and you guys know how destructive Hardik Pandya can be. So and fact is that they have enough left-handers also in the middle order. So in case they want a matchup, Gautam Gambhir likes to send Aksar up the order, and then there is Ravindra Jadeja as well. So it just seems like the batting lineup never ends. So um, you just need to take regular wickets against India if you're going to have a chance against them. So it just looks like India obviously are the massive favorites as from one. I just feel like only New Zealand can challenge them. I don't think the other teams are even close to them at this point. So um, maybe India New Zealand final is on the cards here.
I mean, yeah, maybe depending on like what their upcoming performance will be and on their selection, South Africa could also be a contender, you can say. But definitely, I would
Yeah.
say India are the best equipped to win this tournament now, especially considering that they get to play at one ground throughout the whole tournament. So, if I had to ask you like one thing like that could like the India could improve in order to win this tournament, or is everything like going smoothly for you?
I think they'll probably want I think Jadeja um, and Kuldeep to continue their good work. I think they'll probably want uh, them to look a little more threatening. Again, today's track, I don't think there was much help, but still, I think going into the rest of the games, I think late second of the tournament, I think they will have a little more help, I guess. Dubai has to host a lot of matches now, starting from the women's T20 World Cup to the IL T20. So the pitches will get a lot tired. So there will be help for spinners, and probably I think they could potentially just experiment too in the last game. I think against New Zealand, last group game, to try Varun Chakravarti in place of one of the bowlers. I think that could be a possibility to just look at whatever options they have. I think considering that the last group game is not going to have a lot of weightage now, I think they have the freedom now. With the batting lineup, it's very hard to find any faults or weaknesses. I think again, if you're going to beat India, you'll have to get the better of their bowling attack, which I feel is a lot easier in the absence of Jasprit Bumrah. So there are not a lot of weaknesses, but again, if I have to point out one, just overall the bowling attack, again, I'll have to touch upon Mohammad Shami also because Shami again has been very steady. Last game also he got a few crucial wickets with the new ball, but he's not really bowling 140 plus. He doesn't have that zip as he had during the 2023 World Cup, for example. So there's no like I don't think that X factor to blow away on the opposition. Harshit Rana also bowls 140 plus. He does both hard length, but again, he's not the kind of bowler who will like blow away the opposition. So that is the only thing that I can point out at this moment.
Yeah, I would say it's mostly minor things that can be ironed out, just to like guard against any potential collapses or any potential lapses. But definitely, I think after today, India are the firm favorites to win the Champions Trophy. Now, coming to Pakistan, and of course, we will have like more shows regarding like, how to rebuild from this on ARD. But Ahmed, bhai, if you would give us like a few short thoughts about, of course, we know what went wrong, but what do you think will be the way forward for Pakistan looking towards the 2027 World Cup?
यार मोस्ट क्लीशे टर्म हो गई रीब्रांडिंग, हर टूर्नामेंट के बाद ही हम लोग थ्रो करते हैं, बट देर आर टूल्स, देर आर प्लेयर्स, आई वुड स्टिल आर्ग्यू। ठीक है, हम डोमेस्टिक क्रिकेट को जितना लैम पास कर सके, थोड़ी से ब्रेव अप्रोच लेके चलने की ज़रूरत है। आई वुड ड्रॉप Babar, the likes of Rizwan as well from the shorter formats. एक लास्ट बात, शाहीन को आज थोड़ा सा सोचने की ज़रूरत है। एक 3 इंसिडेंट पुट करूँगा बहुत शॉर्ट। रोहित शर्मा ने डाउन द ट्रैक आके पनिश किया, शुभमन गिल ने डाउन द ट्रैक आके पनिश किया, हार्दिक पांड्या ने डाउन द ट्रैक आके पनिश किया। प्राइमरी पेसर डाउन द ट्रैक आके पनिश हो रहे एक इनिंग्स में इन द स्पेल ऑफ 9 ओवर्स। दैट इज द मोस्ट वरिंग और द मोस्ट लोएस्ट पॉइंट ऑफ शाहीन करियर। आप आर्ग्यू कर सकते हो ही हैज रन आउट ऑफ एक्सक्यूजेस एट दिस पॉइंट। आप कभी हम कहते थे कि बैटर्स ने ये कर दिया तो उसने वो कर दिया। इंडिविजुअली जब आप ब्रेक डाउन करो तो आई एम रियली वरीड अबाउट शाहीन। यार बैटर्स, वी आई लाइक एक बोल्ड चॉइस कह रहा हूँ कि आप अब्दुल समद को अभी से नंबर 6, अभी भी मैं समझता हूँ ओडीआई क्रिकेट में नंबर 5 या नंबर 6 जो भी आप फिनिशर लेके चलना चाहते हो, जस्ट बुक मार्क हिम के 2027 तक हमने उसे रन देने। लाइक मैं एक प्लेयर जस्ट नेम थ्रू आउट कर रहा हूँ जस्ट टू काइंड ऑफ रीब्रांड द थिंग्स। और बात वही है कि अगर अब्दुल्ला शफीक को 2 साल आपने इन्वेस्ट किया है, ऐसे प्लेयर्स को आप बैक करो जो जनरेशन आपको लगता है और जिन्होंने आईसीसी टूर्नामेंट्स में आपको इनफ प्रूफ दिया हुआ हो। रिजवान, आई वुड स्टिल हैव लाइक काइंड ऑफ प्री टूर्नामेंट अगर कह लो तो एज अ टेक्नीशियन ही इज रियली गुड, बट अगर आपने बैटिंग ऐसे करनी है तो आई डोंट नीड हिम। बॉलिंग में आई वुड स्टिल फील, आई मीन बॉलिंग में थोड़ा लैग करेंगे बैटर्स। लाइक अगर हमें रीब्रांडिंग करनी है तो वी हैव गॉट स्पिनर्स रिसोर्सेज हमारे पास, बैकअप में भी अच्छे हमने लाइक सुफियान मुकीम को ऑब्वियसली आप थ्रो कर दे। फास्ट में वी हैव टू माइट वर्क इट आउट के व्हाट आर द नेक्स्ट काइंड ऑफ बिग थिंग्स। हुनैन शाह, उबैद शाह आर बिग थिंग्स बट उन्हें इतनी जल्दी थ्रो आउट नहीं कर सकते। द थिंग विद दैट इज के आपको एक अच्छी मैनेजमेंट लाने की ज़रूरत है, आपको न्यू डायरेक्शन की ज़रूरत है इन अ वे, और स्पेशली राइट नाउ हमें फ्रेशनेस की ज़रूरत है। और फ्रेशनेस को आपको कुछ बहुत बोल्ड स्टेप्स लेने पड़ते हैं। इवन एट दिस पॉइंट अगर आपने फ़खर को लाइक बाहर कर दिया था, आपने स्टेटमेंट मार्क करना होती तो आप मोहम्मद हारिस को लाइक आउट ऑफ द थ्रो इधर फेंक सकते थे। ठीक है, उसके साथ भी हार्श होता, सर्कल में नहीं था या वट एवर, you could have made that statement of intent, but I don't get it and I don't think it happening, although we would all have different formulas कि ये हो जाए वो हो जाए। But bro, शुभमन गिल, ब्रूक्स, हैरी ब्रूक्स फैब 3 फैब 4 नेक्स्ट वो सोचे तो दैट इज माय लास्ट थॉट. उसके बाद शो रैप अप कर देते हैं. एनी वन ऑफ यू हैव एनी अदर थॉट्स बिकॉज दैट इज वेयर द क्रिकेट इज going to be pivoted around in the next 5 or 7 years, I would say.
Just one thing I would like to add. Uh, Naseem Shah, I think, has been like let off the hook a little too much, simply
Uh,
because he knows how to be economical. I think he needs to be like a little more attacking, and he needs to work on his fitness. I think that is something, when we talk about like the whole team. Usually a lot of people on social media let off a few 2 3 players off the hook, like Naseem,
yeah,
Abrar, and maybe Salman Agha and Saim
fair
Ayub.
point.
That's that's fair and all, but I think when it comes to Naseem, he has become too accustomed to bowling that fourth, fifth stump line and just being an economical
Uh-huh.
bowler, which is not really going to work out in every single match, or especially when at the other end, like Shaheen and Haris are
Good.
struggling this much. So that's also some room for improvement. Thank you both of you for joining me in this live review. Although there's a lot more to be said, but just a few like minutes or a few hours after the match, there is plenty of time for reflection, and I'm sure a lot of reviews will be done about this match and about this tournament for Pakistan and how it went all wrong, and perhaps if India go on to win, how it all came right for them. Thank you, Karthik and Amit Bhai, and to all the viewers for joining us. And do stay tuned to All Rounders Den for more reviews of Champions Trophy. And after this, there will be, of course, the IPL and PSL season as well. So, plenty to look forward to. And this is Talha signing off. Goodbye.